What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster, and in the past few days, the mainstream media has been attempting to do victory laps for the game Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, bragging that it just reached 500,000 players, but this is what that sounds like to me.
That was it?
That number sounds really great until you remember that this is a game that was free on Game Pass day one on Xbox. So if you really want an idea as to what people think of this title, look no further than the player count on Steam. They have got a microscopic amount of players at any given time, so no, I'm not impressed that 500,000 people downloaded a free game. I'm more concerned with the fact that it sounds like the studio that made it, A44, is reportedly about to fire just about everyone who works there. That's not exactly the sort of accomplishment that mommy and daddy would brag about to their friends. In fact, this is what mommy and daddy are likely thinking.
Jesus Christ, the kid's an idiot.
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter, where I keep a list of games lousy with woke crap pinned to my account at all times for your reference. My handle on the platform is Dr. Disaster1. Anyhow, let's talk about Flintlock and A44 Studios. As we've discussed on this channel before, this Sweet Baby Inc. game appears to be a massive failure. It turns out that ugly female characters just aren't selling games anymore. I actually find games like this really funny these days though, because it takes several years to develop a game, meaning that Flintlock, as an example, began as a project probably 4 or 5 years ago. That was right in the thick of the chokehold that so-called progressivism put on our entertainment industry. Every one of these morons were likely in love with the aesthetics of The Last of Us 2 as an example, which came out in 2020, and they thought they could make stuff like that forever. But think about all of the massive cultural pushback that has happened since then. The woke chokehold is arguably weakening. Sure, a lot of those troglodytes still have institutional power, but the institution itself is crumbling under the weight of audience disinterest. So sure, these guys can brag about 500,000 players playing Flintlock, but that is not the same thing as Stellar Blade, is it? In the first month of Stellar Blade, they had 1 million buyers, meaning they had people paying them actual currency for the product they created. I know that economics isn't exactly the strong suit of these woke types, but even they should be able to understand that there is a difference between being handed money and being handed a media talking point to brag about. Anyhow, this article from Fandom Wire discusses the news that A44 is getting ready to lay off nearly all of its staff. Down in the article, it says this about Flintlock: it's one of the worst performers for its publisher, Kepler Interactive. Despite the game being available on Xbox Game Pass and consoles, it seems A44, the studio behind the game, might be facing significant trouble. Xbox Game Pass did provide a temporary boost, with the devs announcing on X that the game had reached 500,000 players. However, this number is somewhat misleading. The majority of these players likely came from Game Pass on PC and Xbox, not from individual sales.
What is this? What is this? Where's all the money?
That's as good as money, sir.
Those are IOUs.
And of course, that ain't how it works. Investors need to see a return on their money, or else the whole thing falls apart and people lose their jobs. In any event, the article includes a link to a tweet showcasing this image. It's a screenshot of a conversation that is being widely circulated from Reset Era, where one user says, "Unfortunately, sales-wise, the game got murdered on Steam, 650 peak concurrent users for a decently sized AA title is very disappointing and one of the worst performers for the publisher, Kepler. Game Pass and consoles will help, but I think A44 might be in trouble." And then below that, another user replied saying, "I have a friend of a friend who resigned from the company. He is expecting massive layoffs. Does not bode well." And I don't know, guys, it's just so hard for me to imagine a character design that looks like this not drawing in massive crowds of gamers. I just can't fathom why nobody wanted to shell out $40 to play as this certifiable beauty. And yet somehow a bunch of people flocked to the likes of Stellar Blade. I just can't think of any reason why somebody would be drawn to this game instead. What an absolute mystery. I mean, rumor has it that Sweet Baby Inc. was the one that told the developers of Flintlock to make the character look like this.
Oh.
And obviously those guys at Sweet Baby are brilliant geniuses who really have their fingers on the pulse, so I wonder what went wrong. But anyhow, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm looking forward to seeing the eventual layoffs over at A44. I will be munching on popcorn as I watch the fireworks show, but what do you think about the situation? Drop your mockery of A44 in the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.